A variety of groups across the state say they'll take a huge financial hit if Governor Rauner's proposed budget passes as is.
And you can add Amtrak to that list. That proposal cuts 40% of Amtrak's state funding. A spokesperson for Amtrak says that size of a cut would not let the company keep up its current operating levels. Amtrak says it will continue to work with the state as the proposed budget moves forward. But as we've reported, Amtrak isn't alone in taking issue with Rauner's budget plan.
WMBD's Marvis Herring spoke to a local political science professor about the governor's call for cuts. So Marvis, what's he saying about this proposal?
Paul Maria, he says enacting cuts is always hard when working on the budget, but he calls Governor Rauner's proposal unusual.
When the economy's going poorly, you can do one of two things. You can cut spending or you can raise taxes. Neither one of those options is politically attractive.
But there's one option Governor Rauner seems to be favoring: funding cuts.
It's unusual, and the reason is because the cuts are so drastic.
That's what Dr. Josh Ryan, an American politics professor at Bradley University, says about the governor's proposed budget plan. But according to Ryan, reducing spending isn't the only answer. That doesn't always solve the problem.
No, it's very, very difficult to cut your way out of a budget deficit.
Dr. Ryan tells me it's more typical to see both cuts and tax increases in the proposed plan, and he's convinced both are needed for long-term success.
When you cut the budget, that can weaken the state economy. Even though it helps in the near term, it makes it more difficult in the long term to make up that lost ground.
But there's an issue Ryan says isn't addressed in this proposal, one that's the real budget burden.
The pension situation has not really been corrected yet. Illinois is going to be facing these kinds of deficits in the near future, and we are going to have to go through this potentially every year for the next 5 years, maybe longer.
Dr. Ryan is convinced state lawmakers will see the imbalance of cuts and revenue increases, and he expects they'll have lots of suggestions to this proposal before a final budget is set. Paul.
Thanks, Marvis. More controversy surrounding Congressman Aaron Schock's spending surfacing today. According to the Chicago Sun-Times, Schock used taxpayer dollars to fly from Peoria to Chicago to catch a Bears football game back in November. He has since written a check to the U.S. Treasury for $1,200 to cover that trip. This is just the latest spending issue to make headlines in recent weeks. Schock's team says it's currently reviewing his office procedures with the help of attorneys from a high-profile law firm and a public relations guru.
All right, well, some dangerous road conditions possibly headed our way soon as well. Marcus, what can you tell us again?
Meteorological spring started yesterday.
It just needs to be spring.
It's now the second.
It needs to be real spring.
I know,
here.
right? We had the snow yesterday and more winter weather on the way. Not snow this time, but ice, and that is no fun for anybody. Right now, a look at Storm Tracker is showing quiet conditions across the area, but we are seeing a system that's out towards the west, and again, that's going to be heading our direction. It's not a lot of moisture here, but it doesn't take much to cause some big problems when you're talking about freezing rain or ice. Winter weather advisory remains in effect midnight and goes through 10 a.m. for our entire area, as this freezing rain will likely move in after midnight. We'll set this into motion here. Future track going hour by hour. Late evening is fine. By around 3, 4 o'clock, though, likely seeing some of that light freezing rain, maybe some sleet, as the temperatures will stay below freezing. Then numbers by late morning start to get above freezing, so we'll make a transition from freezing rain to rain. But most importantly, the takeaway from this is the morning drive. We could have a thin glaze of ice on all area roadways tomorrow morning. Coming up, we'll talk about the freezing rain overnight, then turning to a soggy Tuesday and more cold temperatures for the middle of the week. I'll have the latest in my forecast in a few minutes.
Thanks, Marcus. The Bloomington Fire Department is closer to figuring out what caused a deadly fire. Happened Friday at a home in the 700 block of West Monroe. Investigators say the fire sparked in the living room in the front of the house. It then went through a front window, spreading to the porch and the rest of the home. 57-year-old Wilma Brown died in that fire. The home is considered a total loss.
Bloomington police arrest a Lincoln woman today suspected of several thefts from stores at the Eastland Mall last month. Stephanie Martin was arrested on multiple counts of burglary. The police department worked closely with the store's loss prevention team throughout this investigation. Well, after forming a heroin task force late last year, lawmakers have a bill to help in case of a heroin overdose. WMBD's Kelsey Gibbs shows us how the bill would equip police, fire, and first responders with the drug Narcan.
The medicine so we can squirt it up each nostril. As a firefighter and registered nurse, Chad Rentz has seen burning homes, car accidents, and even drug overdoses.
We don't know the quantity, we don't know the dosage, we don't even know how they're made.
The Springfield Fire Department is equipped with Narcan, an antidote that reverses the side effects of a drug overdose.
I've administered Narcan several times and had great success with it every time. Narcan is a narcotic reversing agent. It is a short-lived agent.
In a more than 200-page proposal, Democrats and Republicans are ready to tackle heroin at any cost, a drug that has been extremely prevalent in Illinois, especially right here in central Illinois.
I don't know if you guys have been following the news, what's going down in Champaign. Just this past couple of days, 11 people overdosed, 2 died. It's a bad batch.
The bill will make Narcan available at all times in all parts of the state.
First, it would require first responders, fire departments, police departments to have this product available at all times.
And not just that, the life-saving drug could be administered by adults whose loved ones suffer from addiction.
I think it's appropriate that we arm people with tools to help their loved ones.
In Springfield, Kelsey Gibbs, WMBD 31 News.
The legislation would also mandate that hospitals keep track of the number of overdoses that come through.
Helping those with severe physical disabilities take a giant step. That's what District 150 special education teachers are doing with a new program. WMBD's Hannah Hilliard joins us to explain. Hannah?
Well, that's right, Paul. It's called the MOVE program, and the goal, well, get students up and moving.
Give room to your smile.
Now, the program challenges its students to stay active while they learn. This is the first year District 150 has implemented it. They trained nearly 30 employees and invested nearly $6,000. And the teachers, therapists, and family have all seen improvement.
We have a couple kids who are now taking steps, walking 3-4 steps without any support, walking with one hand held, where last year had to have full help to walk.
One piece of equipment new to the students is called a standing support station. It's an upright changing station and a tool that helps students learn to use the bars in a public restroom. It should help them feel more comfortable about getting out into the community more often. Maria?
All right, Hannah, thanks so much. No one usually survives 4 heart attacks in less than 3 months, but one Twin Cities man did, and now he's on the road to recovery. WMBD's Jacob Peklo joins us live in studio tonight with more. Jacob, how's this even possible? 4 in 3 months.
Yeah, Marie, it's pretty incredible. The numbers seem stunning, especially in such a short period of time. Well, just imagine that you had your own personal first responder monitoring you all around the clock. Some new technology has given a 52-year-old Bloomington man a fresh lease on life.
Mark Humble is on the road to recovery. After suffering a series of heart attacks this winter, he's hitting rehabilitation hard.
I'm a lucky man. Lucky man.
Humble had his first heart attack at his home on November 30th.
Never had any health problems, always stayed active.
Little did he know his struggles were just beginning. He had a second heart attack at work less than 1 month later and was rushed to the hospital.
Same pain came back. I knew exactly what was going on, only this time I couldn't breathe.
Humble says a new piece of medical technology saved his life.
Is it safe to say without that vest you'd be dead right now?
Yes.
Humble began wearing a life vest, which he named Hope, on Christmas Eve.
It monitors your heart rhythm, and the device is set to certain parameters. So if your heart rate goes beyond a certain limit and starts to go really fast, it senses that, and based on its algorithm, it can shock you.
The device was quickly pressed into action on Christmas Day when Humble had his third heart attack.
It senses that his heart is out of rhythm.
The printout demonstrates the points where his heart had an irregularity, and then when the device kicked in.
Alarms, bells, and whistles, everything went off, and Hope did her job. I lost complete consciousness and shocked me once, and after about 30 seconds, I guess my eyes opened up.
Humble was treated in the emergency room and now has a permanent device which will continue to monitor his heart rate.
I don't think we can really truly estimate or imagine how he feels about this, but it's amazing.
So here's the really incredible thing now. Mark had another heart attack, his 4th, on February 9th, but he was able to survive that one too, thanks to his new permanent defibrillator. He says now he's able to have dreams again.
All right, Jacob, thanks so much. Well, this week's CI Hero isn't just one person, it's an entire group helping life get lived to the fullest. I'll show you how. That's coming up, Marcus.
It was a quiet but cold start to this work week, but it could be a bit tricky as we head into work and school for your Tuesday. We're tracking the potential for freezing rain as we roll through the overnight tonight. All the timing and amounts in my forecast, that's coming up.
You're watching WMBD 31 News at 6 with Paul Cicchini, Maria Chandler, Chief Meteorologist Marcus Bailey with your local weather authority forecast, and Kurt Pegler with sports. This is WMBD 31 News at 6.
The best part about going to Bard Optical is
trying on so many fashionable frames, or
fitting me with the most comfortable contact lenses,
or the skilled optometrists, helpful staff, and family-friendly prices.
Come in now and get your eye health exam, glasses, and sunglasses for just $129. Or how about an exam, contacts, and glasses for $149? Bard Optical, vision for life.
Peoria Siding and Window. It's the name Central Illinois homeowners have trusted for more than 35 years. Windows, doors, siding, roofing, sunrooms. We do it all. Start your worry-free home experience with one call to Peoria Siding. Maybe you've wanted that new deck, pergola, patio cover, or awning. Get your home ready to enjoy the beautiful outdoors.
Peoria Siding and Window. You've got a friend in the business. Renewal by Andersen.
Say goodbye to your old drafty windows and hello to the energy efficiency of Andersen.
For a limited time, buy 2 windows and get the third window 60% off. Get the best window in the market, Andersen. With 18 months, no interest, no payments.
At Renewal by Andersen, we replace windows and doors all year round. And with our Energy Star certified products, we can help you save on your energy costs.
Renewal by Andersen. We love our new windows.
Renewal by Andersen of Central Illinois.
This portion of WMBD News sponsored by Millworks.
Come into Millworks for our spring flooring sale.
The Storm Tracker Skycam Network, brought to you by Barker Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. Now, your local weather authority, WMBD 31 Chief Meteorologist Marcus Bailey.
Well, most of us digging out after at least a few inches of snow yesterday, and now we're going to be dealing with another winter system that's likely to bring us some problems during the overnight tonight. Not in the form of snow, but freezing rain. Storm tracker right now quiet across the state. What we're watching, as you can see, a little bit of moisture. Not a lot. This isn't a real impressive system. It's not going to have a ton of moisture with it out towards the central plains. This will be dragging across the Midwest starting overnight tonight and leading into tomorrow morning. And temperatures are going to be key on this one, but the thought is pretty much across the board. Along our area, temperatures will be below freezing, which will likely promote freezing rain. Winter weather advisory will begin at midnight and goes until 10 a.m. tomorrow morning across the board. Numbers are below freezing area-wide. 25 in Pontiac, 24 in Bloomington, 29 here in the city, and 28 down in Lincoln. So let's go hour by hour here on Future Track. If you're out for the evening, late evening, even early overnight, no worries. Just clouds building ahead of the system moving in. We believe by around 3, 4, 5 o'clock, that's going to be kind of the window that we'll see some steady rain, likely being freezing rain across the areas. You can see here on Future Track at 5 a.m., it's all pink, and that would be freezing rain, maybe a little bit of sleet in some spots. Far to the north, you actually may get a little bit of snow out of this that could leave you with a dusting. But the problem is going to be the freezing rain hanging on through the 6, 7, and 8 o'clock hour. It will be very light, but it doesn't take much to create big problems. And of course, with this happening around 7:30, if this holds true, a light glazing on many area roadways is what's going to be the issue, and that's going to make for a very problematic morning drive into work and school tomorrow. Now, late morning into the early afternoon, we'll see a transition from freezing rain to rain as temperatures warm up into the mid to upper 30s, and any of that glaze that was created in the morning will melt off as temperatures get close to 40 degrees through the afternoon. It'll be on and off showers then as we head through the late afternoon and into the evening. Just very light though, no major problems as far as heavy rain on top of maybe some of that snow melting. All right, here's what we're thinking with the ice potential right in the heart of our area. Fresh update here. about 1/10 of an inch in some spots. I think that's as high as it gets. So it's going to be a problem of slick roads, not power outages. So there's some good news. 23 as we roll through the overnight tonight, 19 in Pontiac, 21 in Bloomington. Then planning out the day tomorrow, again, cloudy with the rain, warmer, 39 at noon, 41 for your afternoon high here in the city, 40 in Galesburg, 40 in Pontiac, and 42 in Bloomington. The numbers will chill down for the middle of the week. 19 on Wednesday and Thursday, mid-30s on Friday, and right now sunny, dry, and warmer for the weekend with highs in the low 40s. We'll be right back.
Follow WMBD 31 News wherever you are on CIProud.com, Facebook, Twitter, or our mobile app.
Many times we'll go on the internet and we'll expect to get no service and one price, or to go into a store and get exceptional service and another price. Well, we don't think you should pay any extra at all. You've worked with our experts, you've picked something out. Don't be embarrassed about asking to price shop. I mean, it's time, right? We know this is the one. Let's get the iPad out. Let's shop. Make sure we've got the best deal here. Yeah, maybe we make a little bit less on that particular sale, but that way it's convenient for you to just come in and buy everything you need from us. It works out in the long run for both of us.
Join Menards this week in saluting our American-made products with Menards Made in the USA sale. For a beautiful look that stays clean, get Dutch Boy DuraClean from Menards. Made in Chicago, Illinois, a gallon of flat paint is just $19.98. Other sizes and finishes are also on sale. Mohawk Carpet is made in Dalton, Georgia. The Utopia Berber collection comes in 3 colors, only 59 cents a square foot. Claremont Frisee in 2 colors is 79 cents a square foot.
Save big money at Menards.
Everyone has their own definition of home. For Dave and Susan Bauer, it's the road. But when a crash and rollover put the brakes on a trip to Florida and stranded the Bauers in the middle of nowhere, they needed to rely on a little help from their friends in the faraway land of West Bend. West Bend issued a check for the damages so quickly that they were able to continue on to Florida in a new truck pulling a brand new trailer, so they could still enjoy their non-refundable place in the sun. Ask your independent agent about putting a silver lining behind wherever it is you call home.
Whether you're mowing your front yard or mowing an estate, German Bliss has the perfect Exmark product for you. With new products from the Quest and Laser Z-Line at 0% APR. German Bliss and Exmark are teaming up to make this season one of your most productive ever.
CI Heroes is my chance to share the amazing stories of friends and neighbors doing great things across Central Illinois. Do you know someone who deserves to be nominated as a CI Hero? Email me their story to ciheroes@wmbd.com. Getting older isn't something many people look forward to. A group of people in Marshall County are doing it gracefully and having a lot of fun too. They say it's all thanks to the staff at St. Joseph's Nursing Home in Lakin. It was founded 50 years ago by the Daughters of St. Francis of Assisi, and they're serving a mission that is still alive today.
The final years of a person's life are extremely significant. They need to realize that they still have a mission in life, that they're still important.
People living here say the care and compassion they get is showing life, no matter what stage it's in, is valuable. See how that's carried out tonight on CI Heroes at 10.
Bradley University may need to organize another search committee. School's provost, Dr. David Glassman, has accepted the job as president of Eastern Illinois University. Glassman will stay on at Bradley until May 31st. That's also the last day for Bradley's president, Dr. Joanne Glasser, who's retiring. The Board of Trustees put together a search committee to find her replacement. The Morton girls can clinch a berth in the state basketball tournament tonight. Kurt Pegler has the story next in sports.
What is the Corvus Zone? It's the one place where grass and broadleaf weeds don't stand a chance. It starts down here, where it counts, but only when you use Corvus, the one corn herbicide that delivers 3 levels of defense: burn down, residual, and reactivation with rain. You want season-long control of the toughest weeds, including resistant ones. Welcome to the Corvus Zone.
Corvus, the #1 pre-emergence corn herbicide from Bayer.
Truth Talk with Frank. Big Cable raised its rates consistently for 18 years. Frontier gives a 3-year price guarantee with no contract and no rate hikes. That's the truth.
Get the speeds you need and the service you deserve with Frontier High-Speed Internet for $19.99 per month with qualifying phone service.
The truth will set you free. From Big Cable.
Make the hassle-free switch to a company that tells the truth. Call 1-888-FRONTIER today.
Right now, call Mediacom and get TV with up to 200 channels, thousands of free on-demand choices, plus Showtime, Stars, and Encore. Now for just $29.95 a month when bundled. You won't get that deal with satellite. That's TV with up to 200 channels, super fast internet up to 50 meg, and home phone now for just $29.95 each a month for 1 year. Plus, free TiVo DVR and Wi-Fi for 3 months. Hurry, call 800-SIMPLIFY now.
In the Midwest for 2015, Ford is unleashing the all-new 435 horsepower Mustang. Releasing the quick and nimble Focus with a new EcoBoost engine. Revealing the all-new technologically advanced Ford Edge. And breaking ground with the all-new high-strength aluminum F-150. No wonder Ford is the brand more people search, buy, and buy again. Now get a Fusion with 0 for 60 plus 1,000 auto show bonus cash and a no-charge maintenance plan. Or lease for only $179 a month.
Now, WMBD 31 Sports.
8 teams tonight will try and punch tickets to the IHSA Girls State Basketball Tournament. Morton hopes to be one of those teams. The Potters already own regional and sectional plaques, and tonight they play Rockford Lutheran in the Super Sectional. If those Red Hot Potters win, they are state-bound for the 3rd time in 9 years.
We are a really tough matchup for teams to guard. If we can defend, if we can battle on the boards, and take care of the ball, and then work really hard together to get A shots every time down the floor, we'll have a chance.
Morton tips off at 7 o'clock in Romeoville. We'll have the highlights for you tonight at 10. Good news for the Illinois Wesleyan men. The Titans get an at-large bid to the NCAA Division III tourney. The CCIW runner-up will play Dubuque at the regional hosted by Wisconsin Stevens Point on Friday night at 5 o'clock. 20 years ago this week, Dan Muller went to Arch Madness for the first time as a player. He's hoping to soon cut down the nets as a head coach. Heading to St. Louis for the Missouri Valley Tournament is old hat for Dan Muller now. But 20 years ago, it was a new experience.
It was a great game. It was my first experience, of course, in Arch Madness, and it's such a great tournament, so many great memories, but they were certainly the better team that night.
38 points. They were the Southern Illinois Salukis. Current Missouri State coach Paul Lusk and his team beat the Redbirds in a 1995 tournament semifinal.
I remember that year they had swept us, I believe, beat us in Carbondale and then in Bloomington, and then I think we were down by about 8 to 10 points late, and we just slowly found a way to win the game.
2 decades later, the former star players are now trying to coach their teams to Valley championships, both believing the week in St. Louis is special for the conference schools and their fans.
It's a top-notch venue. We have top-notch fans, and I think from a postseason tournament, it's one of the best in the country.
St. Louis is a great city for a conference tournament. There's enough to do, but you can stay downtown, walk to the facility, and just a lot of great memories every time I walk in.
Dan Muller's first trip to St. Louis did not end in the winner's circle, but he did finish his playing career there with regular season and conference titles in his junior and senior years.
6 seniors that graduated together, went through a lot of things, and to win that together in that facility and the way we played together and won together is something I'll certainly never forget.
Now he's among the coaches trying to add winning experiences to his Arch Madness memory book. Briefly, the Bulls say that Jimmy Butler's out 3 to 6 weeks with an elbow injury, and Patty Harrington wins the rain-delayed Honda Classic in the second hole of a playoff. Finally, who needs spring when you can have this? Former Chicago Cub Jock Jones, part of a snowball softball classic in Blaine, Minnesota, a tournament played in the snow. But you know what? You pretty much could have played that anywhere in Illinois, and it would have looked just like that.
Oh my gosh, so much snow.
I've noticed a theme lately that Minnesota sports, they love their winter weather, and they love taking advantage of it.
Yeah, that's pretty consistent with them.
That's why you save stuff. You save that for spring, you know.
It'll be that way in June.
Yeah, that's
in
right.
Minnesota.
That's true.
It's Minnesota.
Yeah. Marcus back right after this.
Here's what you can see tonight on WMBD 31.
Tonight, who doesn't like laughter? Who doesn't like astrophysics?
Ask me the difference between a boson and a fermion. You go ahead, ask.
Add them together, and you got the show that turns comedy.
Can't talk. Spitball. Probably gonna die.
into a science.
Even I don't really understand it.
A special Big Bang Theory. Then it's a Mike and Molly scandal.
I don't like throwing around the word bombshell, but bombshell.
What is it? Come on, you think we tell you in the promo? New Mike and Molly after a special Big Bang, CBS tonight.
It's the 44th annual Spring RV Show, March 6th, 7th, and 8th at Four Winds RV in Maroa and East Peoria. This is your best time to buy a camper. That's the Spring RV Show, March 6th, 7th, and 8th at Four Winds RV at both Maroa and East Peoria.
The secret behind Culver's North Atlantic cod begins at sea.
The cod we supply Culver's comes from the North Atlantic. It grows slowly. It has firm texture and wonderful white flake.
I think we have the best fish sandwich in the business.
Hand cut for Culver's. They are the filet mignon of the cod.
They're not made ahead of time. It's done to order.
Well, look at that nice thin batter. That's the fish flavor come through.
We even make our tartar sauce from a 40-year-old family recipe.
There's no better cod in America.
Welcome to Delicious.
You see it everywhere nowadays. We call it the yield bump. It's a grower's way of saying you made a good decision. Because when you treat young corn with an early season application of Stratego Yield fungicide, you get stronger stalks, healthier fields, and even higher yields. So get a jump on your yield bump with Stratego Yield Early Season.
It's the 44th annual Spring RV Show, March 6th, 7th, and 8th at Four Winds RV in Maroa and East Peoria. This is your best time to buy a camper. That's the Spring RV Show, March 6th, 7th, and 8th at Four Winds RV at both Maroa and East Peoria.
Taking action for you. This is WMBD 31 News at 6.
All right, going to be a lot to watch out for overnight into tomorrow.
Potentially some freezing rain. It's not a lot of it, but as we know, it doesn't take much to create some major problems. Winter weather advisory for everybody begins at midnight tonight. 25, we'll see that freezing rain slide in right around 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Could hang around for the morning drive, so a light glaze likely when you're heading off to work. We'll warm up into the low 40s later tomorrow afternoon.
All right, thanks, Marcus. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here at 10. Don't forget, always on CIProud.com. Good night.
Good night.